be talking about pretty much just the beauty of Japanese style lunch. Oh, I've had a chance to eat Kyushoku for a few months when I was in Japan during third grade, and Taiki-sensei is the pro. He's had a lot of Kyushoku in his life, so we're hoping to learn a thing or two from him, and hopefully we can have a good appetizing podcast today. So yes, shall we get started?
Yeah, sure. 始めよう。
Now, I can't hear Taiki-sensei, but I'm not sure, maybe it's just me.
なんで聞こえないんだろう。
He gave me a few notes. I can't get us started. Kyushoku is two words.
あれなんで聞こ
I learned that Kyu is the kanji for haikyuu or kyu, to hand out or distribute. And we'll get a little more into detail afterwards. As for shoku, which is food or eat, as everyone knows, it's my favorite kanji. Kyushoku is pretty much food to be distributed. Now, typically, Kyushoku, there's a carb, a veggie, a meat, plus milk. It's always milk. It was nice about you, and it was definitely the case for Taiki-sensei, according to what he taught me and how he grew up. So, yeah, pretty much typical Kyushoku is carb, either bread, rice, or noodles. And noodles are a lot. It's
あれなんで聞こえないんだろう。
Oh, I can hear you. Yep.
Oh, you can hear me? I think it's because of your network is not working, maybe. Because on the icon it says I am speaking.
Oh. Maybe it's me. Were you able to hear me the whole time?
Yeah. I am.
Okay, perfect. Well,
そう。
shall we get started then?
お騒がせします。
どうもどうも。
Let's rewind it and let's get started now.
Let's do it.
Again.
Okay, so thank you everyone for joining. Back to you, Taiki-sensei.
Yep. So 今日のテーマは給食です。Lunch at school, especially for elementary school and the junior high in Japan. So if you have ever attended Japanese school, which I don't think many people do here, or if you have ever worked in Japanese school, like teaching English as a JEP program, you might have had a chance to eat Kyushoku with the students or the teachers.
Alright.
ということで、給食という言葉ですけれども、給食 these two words in kanji. The kyu means to distribute, and shoku is literally food or to eat. So it's a distributed food served at school. 給食っていう感じです。Oh, Hika sensei, I think you are.
I had a chance to eat Kyushoku a little. When am I not audible?
You're kind of breaking up.
Oh, sorry. I hope you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you, but
okay.
Sometimes
how
on
about
and off.
now?
Yeah, I can hear
Sorry.
you clearly.
In advance. 事前にごめんなさい. Yeah, I had a chance to eat Kyushoku a little bit back when I was in third grade, and it was very good experience. I know there were some days, especially some popular dishes that the kids we really liked. So yeah, I'm looking forward to today's podcast and talking about my favorite subject, which is food.
そうね。
Yeah.
だから
So, but what's in a typical Kyushoku, Taiki-sensei? Like, is it gourmet? What does it look like?
There are three major, 主食 or
Mm-hmm.
mainstream, which is bread, rice, or noodles.
Okay.
So every day, one of these always comes together with milk or other
Mm-hmm.
dishes like curry or Japanese, say, nikujaga
Mm-hmm.
or
Mm-hmm.
stew. 何があったかなと。
Got it.
唐揚げ fried chicken,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
sometimes
Well,
dessert,
Mm-hmm.
jello,
Mm-hmm.
pudding, these kind of.
I see.
パンと米と麺。
And I remember the noodles were very it was not just like one noodle. They had udon, they had softomen. That was very interesting, and like spaghetti, rice too. Sometimes it wasn't just like white rice. They have like wakame gohan or takikomi gohan, as well as bread.
ああ、そうだ。玄米
Bread
と
was
か。
very unique. Yes, yeah. And so I mean, it's definitely not just one option, one type of bread, one type of rice, or one type of noodle. Within the bread, rice, and noodle, there's definitely a good variety that I remember enjoying.
True. 確かにそうだね。なんかパンがね、俺結構嫌いだったんだよね、給食の時。俺小学生パンも甘いパンと
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
there's sweet bread and also
Okay.
very dried like bland bread.
Huh.
So
I see.
basically you just cannot eat it without milk because it's too dry or hard.
Ah, I see.
I really hated that bread.
Really? I mean the bread were okay. At least the school I went to, they had it was normal bread, good bread. But in prefectures, things could probably change up a little bit, huh? Different skimonos or different type of
Yeah.
gotoji gurume that they may serve.
Yeah.
Interesting. What like sensei,
Yeah.
what is a typical like
Yeah.
flow Kyushoku? Like how does that like where does it come from?
Wow.
Like like
Yeah.
I have no image. Like what goes on? Like does it just come out of the sky or probably not? But how does it work?
Yeah, good question. So this Kyushoku system is operated on the municipal level. So if you live in, let's say, Kobe City or Osaka City, each cities manage these facilities and the menus, ingredients, and all the stuff. So typically, there's a Kyushoku center within each city where, people, say, cut the vegetables or prepared meat. Not just cook the whole process, but just prepare. So they can cook at the school level. And also, there's a cooking area in school. Oh, you cannot hear me again? Really? That's weird because, sorry everyone, if you can just hear me, would you? Oh yeah, I think it's Hika Sensei's network. So, well, I'll continue anyway. So there's a Kyushoku center in some areas, on the local areas in each prefectures, where people process the food. Oh yeah, you can hear me. Thank you. Add as a speaker. Yeah. So yeah, where people prepare food and just cut the vegetables and prepare the meat, so they can cook the whole process in the Kyushoku cooking center. In each school, they have this cooking room called Kyushoku Choritsu, or maybe Choritsu, where they finish cooking up the food. So if the menu was some kind of curry, they heat up everything and mix the ingredients, vegetable, and all the stuff. And at the end of the whole every day, so we have 4 classes typically in Japanese schools before the lunch. So starting at 9 a.m. to 9:50, and 10 a.m. to 10:50, and 11 to 11:50, and again 12 to 12:30, or I forgot. So yeah, after the 4th class, the students go to the Kyushoku shitsu, where all the Kyushoku are prepared in the boxes. So for each classes, so then they have to carry those rice boxes or all the bowls full of the vegetables and fruits. And there's a box of bean milk. 瓶のミルクがあって、there's a so typically one class holds a 30 to 40 students in Japanese school. So you're gonna have to carry lots of like food back to the class, which is typically on the first or second, third or fourth floor of each school. So when I was in the 5th grade elementary school, I was carrying this huge rice box back to my classroom, and you just can't bring it along. So you make a pair with your classmate, and we somehow hit the pillar or wall along the way, and the lid dropped off and the rice just rolled down the stairs. And at that time we had to gather all the rices and asking for if there's any rice left at the classroom, bring it to the class B for them please. And that was like a so memorable and funny moment. So anyway, so that's how Kyushoku is brought to the classroom. And when we eat, we typically make a group together, typically 4 to 6 students making up one group. So when we eat, you put the desk face to face to enjoy the meal and the conversation. And that was a really fun time. Oh yeah.
Yes, I'm back. Yes. Hi everyone. 皆さん。すみません。
So that was a really fun time I remember as a elementary school student that time. So yeah, and as we discussed before, of course we say itadakimasu before the meal and the gotsuo when we finish. And that's a typical way how Kyushoku is served. And during the meal, there's a typically kind of broadcast within that school. There's a 放送委員会, which is a kind of broadcasting committee, held in Disney within the school, where they plan some kind of entertainment and it shows up and talk about, I forgot something. We just enjoyed the atmosphere and the content very much that time. And after the meal, you basically, bring these boxes and rice boxes, milk back to the Kyushoku downstairs, which is a role of Kyushoku Gakari, Kyushoku students. So that's how Kyushoku is served in Japanese school. The whole process takes, I remember, 40 minutes.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Tyson.
Yeah.
I remember Kyushoku Gakari also. It's switched, right? In my school, they switched it every week.
Yeah.
So you have like a group, and then Kyushoku Gakari A or Kyushoku Gakari B, or whatever the naming was. It was sometimes it was the name of flowers or names of whatever animals, but
Sakura.
I had a group of my classmates, and we were Kyushoku Gakaris together, and then like it would be in rotations. Every 3 to 4 weeks, maybe, depending on how large the class and the group is. The seatings I did enjoy, and my teacher, she suggested that we try our best to sit with different people every week, so it's not always the same within the close proximities. But instead, try to sit next to someone new every day, Monday through Friday, and try to cover your whole classmates, and learn something new about them and have them learn something new about you. Which I fondly remember. Yeah, it was a good way to communicate, interact. I know now with COVID, I hear mokushoku is a big thing, quietly eat. Which, it's a little lonely. Hopefully, the kids can eat together again, and chat. But I definitely brought back a lot of memories. Thanks, Taiki Sensei.
Yeah, my pleasure.
So
that... Yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah. So I did Google a few popular Kyushokus. Maybe I could share a few. Maybe some of the listeners have eaten this before. Some I have not eaten this before, just in life in general. But I was curious if you have. So the list had about 20 foods, but maybe I'll limit it to like 5 or 6. One of the more popular food was kare, which makes sense. I love curry. And apparently every school has slightly different curry. Some places add more soy sauce, some people add apple, some people add, all these kakushiaji, secret flavors. But I had kare. I remember I really enjoyed the kare. Did you have that in your school too, Taiki Sensei?
Yeah, of course we did. We also have hash rice, which is sort of Japanese version, not curry. Similar.
Yeah. Beef stew rice kind of thing. Yeah, I love those too. Another favorite one was hamburger.
Hamburger ね、うまいよね。
Hamburg steak. Yeah, and the sauce. I remember the sauce was so delicious.
True.
And so, yeah, hamburger.
なんであんなうまいんだろうね、ハンバーグって。
No, I don't know. I don't know what they put in it, but it was so good. Especially Japanese hamburger in general, I think is very high quality.
True.
The other one I googled, and I think you kind of mentioned it, but I wanted to get your input, was softomen, which is soft noodles, right? English. Tell us a little bit about that. Like
soft noodles. So that was one of the weirdest things I had in Japan.
I'm guessing it's soft, right? Soft noodles.
I've been in Japan for like 20 or 30 years, and softomen was still one of my mysteries. So it's somewhere
is it served outside? Is it served in a restaurant? I've never seen it in a restaurant before.
It's served in the Kyushoku. I've never seen it outside of school.
So if you missed out on Kyushoku, you missed out on softomen forever. Because I've never seen it in any other restaurants. None of the ramen places, none of the spaghetti places. Like, what is it? Like, what's the flavor? Is it Japanese flavoring or Western?
Between udon noodle and pasta noodle.
Oh, so it's like a
udon noodle. So
udon texture, pasta size, thinness per person.
Yeah, it's white, soft, literally soft, but sort of, as thin as the pasta noodle.
Okay, so it's like udon.
Really weird. I don't know what's that made of.
What do you eat it? What do you eat it with? Like, is it with tsuyu, or is it more like you eat it with tomato sauce, or?
The way it was served was with like pasta sauce, like tomato pasta sauce.
Oh, okay. So it's like
we never had the dashi, Japanese soup.
Ooh, it's a hybrid noodle.
Yeah.
I've never had that before. Yeah, softomen.
That was very weird.
A bucket list of experiences.
Yeah, add it.
Another favorite was temaki, which to me was surprised because that's sushi. Temaki sushi. Sushi rolls. Do they really serve that?
Yeah, I do remember we had sushi.
I missed out.
And
is it crab?
Like
fake image crab, or is it like real like tuna, maguro, or?
I don't really remember what was inside, but we typically had some maguro or tuna.
Wow.
Occasionally, or there was tsukemono. Daikon とかきゅうりとか。
Oh, I see. Kyurimaki type of.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Another one yes,
like,
go ahead.
Square shaped nori, seaweed paper, which is like 20 centimeter by 20 centimeter square. And you put rice, and then you put the tsukemono on it, and you just roll it and put some sauces on.
Okay. That sounds like a lot of fun too.
Yeah, it was fun.
Another one I noticed was stew. Maybe we'll do 2 more. Stew was is white stew, so not like beef stew, but like cream stew. Milk stew. I do remember eating that. That was delicious. The breads came in handy.
確かに。
Dip it in bread. That was really good. Lots of potato, a little bit of broccoli, and a little bit of carrots. Mainly potato.
Potato.
Yeah, I remember that.
Action. Okay.
But the last one. Now this one.
What is it?
Stay in your seats, because in Japanese I read it was kujira no tatsutage. Tatsutage is karage, but kujira is whale, like
whale meat.
Whale. Yeah.
very
So
controversial.
is that still served, or is that like kind of an old-fashioned, 50, 60, 70 years ago type of thing?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's served in the, current to the current kids, but yeah, back in my kids days, I do remember I had whale meat karage.
You had whale meat before, Taiki Sensei?
Served on Kyushoku. Yeah, like, not that
Wow.
often, but like
is it?
1-2 times.
What does it taste like? Is it
Yeah,
fishy? Well, it's a mammal, right? Whales are mammals, but
yeah, with
does-
mammal, but it tastes like a chicken.
But chickens aren't mammal; they're birds. What?
But it,
So
Yes,
I guess
but-
it's like karage chicken.
wait.
It's like karage chicken.
yeah, it's almost
Oh.
karage chicken. So like if you have never had whale meat before, and you first have it whale meat karage, you
Mhm.
probably wouldn't realize it's
Really?
whale meat because it's I think it's very close to karage.
It sounds expensive. Is it expensive or no? Like, is that like a delicacy or?
I think it's expensive because it's not Kyushoku, but I saw someone sold whale meat at the port in the rural port in Japan before.
Yes.
And it was, I remember it was sold at like say 25 US dollar per kilo, 1 kilogram.
Oh,
So-
wow.
Which is slightly more expensive than chicken.
Yeah, definitely more expensive than chicken. Yeah.
So it's not cheap. Whale meat is not everywhere, of course. To
Right.
avoid standing, it's not sold typically in Japanese supermarket, but it's just a
Okay.
Kyushoku thing that we.
Mm,
One of the few occasions that Japanese people can have whale meat officially.
Wow. That's interesting. Yeah, the last one I had to save for last because whale meat, fried whale meat. I guess like kind of like fried chicken, karage style whale meat.
Mm.
For those of you who are interested, let me know. Tweet to us if you you've had that before, or if there's any good whale cuisines in your country. I'm always open for adventures.
アイスランドと日本ぐらいでしょ。
Yeah. Anyway, thanks. Yeah, that was one thing I wanted to go over with the group here and kind of get your insight. Softomen and Kujira no Tatsutage, those two I was very, very curious about.
いや、そうだと思うわ。
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, I guess it's almost that time, but we learned so much. I know, 皆さん今日は接続ごめんなさい, but we learned about Kyushoku, the kanji, kind of what a typical Kyushoku has, the flow of how Kyushokus are made and served, and some popular Kyushoku dishes, many which we are fond of, some a little new, but hey, open to new stuff always. And yeah, I guess last words, Taiki Sensei?
皆さんごめん、今日接続がね、なんか悪くてごめんなさいでした。
ごめんなさい。
ちょっとね、給食は結構俺いろいろ楽しみなメモリーがいっぱいあるから、それは本当にみんなと共有できてよかったです。I was very honored to share my experience of 給食。
Great memories. Yeah, thanks.
So we'll cover something else in the next topic, next week.
Yep.
If you still want to stick to the Kyushoku, please do let us know. We have lots of time.
Kyushoku. Right.
Yeah, so yeah, that's it for today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thank you for joining us.
Good. All right.
Hope you
Thank
had
you, Thank you, Taiki Sensei.
ありがとう、ひか先生。皆さんもありがとうございます。じゃあまた来週お会いしましょう。さようなら。
さよなら。Bye.